Welcome to Warehouse and More. In this video, we'll discuss about manual storage modes, specifically pallet storages and tote or carton storages. We'll start with the pallet storages first. In the picture, you can see the type of storage which is known as block or bulk storage. This is the most simple form and the most dense form of storage mode in the manual category that you can find. Usually, we can keep up to 4 pallet high, but it totally depends on the nature of product and the stackability of the product and stability that it can provide. Usually it's stretch wrapped and uniform kind of product or SKU that are stored, preferred for high pallet to SKU density. So basically there should be large number of pallets for small number of SKUs. Generally preferred for LIFO kind of situation where last in first out, because when you are putting it away in this direction, the last one that you will put will be the first one that you'll pull out. So in this kind of storage, the equipment used is usually forklift, and in some cases, just because you might have space constraints, or in case you are able to go more than 8 or 10 meters high, which is very rare, you can use reach trucks. So now this particular storage mode doesn't provide you much of an selectivity, and with that we'll move to the next part, that is selective pallet racks. So also known as SPRS, so selective pallet rack system. So the problem from the previous one is solved here. In this case, instead of stacking everything on top of each other, these are stored in the racks. Every pallet is independently accessible, so 100% accessibility. Can be FIFO or LIFO because everything is accessible. Equipment used will be reach truck or forklift. These storage modes usually go up to 12 meters. In some cases, they might go to 13 meters, but it totally depends on the capacity and the reach of reach truck or forklift. So this is the most common and most popular kind of storage mode. But in here, the density of storage goes down, and with this we'll move to the second the third part here, which is double deep SPRS. So in this particular mode, you can see instead of one pallet, now there are two pallets of same SKU, and this is the other part. So for this, the entry and exit will be from this particular direction. So I'll just remove it for the sake of simplicity. So in this is similar to SPRS. Only difference is there will be two pallets kept back to back each other across all the levels. The advantage it gives is better storage density, slightly compromised selectivity, but if you have good pallet to SKU ratio, that can if that can support your double dip configuration, then it is better to use this. The only problem here is you'll need to have a dedicated or basically specialized type of reach truck which can reach to the second dip using pantograph kind of mechanism, which makes it slightly expensive, but overall it it gives similar advantage of SPRS but with better pallet storage density. So now you can see that we are moving from very high storage density but less selectivity. Then to solve that selectivity issue, we moved towards the SPRS, but then again we found that density is less. Then we moved to double dip pallet kind of situation. Now in all in single dip and double dip configuration, the problem was with height. There was limited height which was limited to around 12 to 13 meters. Now, to solve this kind of scenario, uh, very narrow aisle or VNA kind of racks were introduced. So, it is similar to your SPRS. Only difference is it can go up to 14 to 18 meters with specialized reach trucks known as VNA trucks. So now these trucks can be man up or man down. In man up trucks, the person will go up with the forks because the height is so high, it becomes difficult for him, for the operator to get the topmost pallet or basically to increase the uh, visibility. And another advantage in here is the narrow aisles. So typically SPRS has around 3.2 or 3.1 meters of the narrow of the aisle, but in VNA we'll get around 1.8 meters. The way it is achieved is with either rail guides or some magnetic strip, and usually VNAs operate only within the aisles and they'll bring the pallet or the whatever you're picking and they'll put it at the end of the aisle. So this is like an improved version of SPRS with better reach than it. Now we have seen that we have solved almost all of the problems, but still the storage density is less. In this case, we are moving towards drive-in and drive-through racks. So these racks kind of provide the combination of bulk storage as well as pallet rack storage. So these are the driving racks. Equipment used is usually forklift. The advantage here is pallets are kept on the rack, but they are also in depth. And how these pallets in the depth are basically accessed is through forklift, which either goes inside the rack. It will pick whatever is required and it will come back. So this is also similar to LIFO situation. So if forklift is going inside and it is getting the pallet and coming back, then it becomes drive-in. But in case the forklift goes inside and it comes out from the another direction, it becomes drive-through. So this can also go up to 8 meters high. Usually this is the maximum reach of a forklift, and basically it is more suitable in a scenario where we need higher storage density, low pallet to SQ ratio. I'm sorry, it will be higher pallet to SQ ratio. So more number of pallets for same SQ. Now moving ahead, since we are trying to make it as dense and as deep as possible, the next one are continuous flow rack or pushback racks. So same image can help, but there are slight variations. So let's assume this is an continuous flow rack. In continuous flow rack kind of situation, the pallets will be put away on the higher side, and these pallet will float towards the other direction, and from where the pallets will be picked. So these are suitable for FIFO kind of situation. Racks are slightly costly because there will be channels and tracks on the racks with some mechanism to stop the pallets. So, and it will also go around 8 to 10 meters depending on the equipment that you are using. The another configuration in the same is pushback racks. So now imagine instead of putting on the higher side, the reach truck or forklift will push the pallet from the lower side. So this is the slope, and the forklift or reach truck will push the pallet. So now the pushback pallet becomes LIFO kind of situation. So depending on what kind of situation that you want to use, we can use either continuous flow racks or pushback racks. Pushback racks typically go around 3 to 4 deep, not more than that. But if you are using continuous flow rack, typically used in manufacturing environment where number of pallets are too high, let's say in the range of 25, 30, or maybe 50 pallets per SKU. In that situation, we can use continuous flow racks where one particular aisle will be for one SKU. Now moving ahead, we have mobile pallet racks. This is the most dense form of pallet racks because in this situation, you can see there are multiple aisles, multiple racks, but only one aisle. But how will we access the pallets in here, right? So in this situation, as the name suggests, the whole rack will move, creating an aisle space here. So basically we are shifting this aisle to here and moving these racks to here. So that's why the name mobile pallet rack. So this particular rack is used where we have to use slow movers, low throughput requirement, and focus is space utilization. Rest all the properties are same as of SPRS, and equipment used will be forklift or reach truck. Obviously, the cost of the racks will be higher because there will be mechanization which will be moving the racks from one location. Basically, it will move racks from one position to another position, and it is done through tracks, which you can see here. Now, these were all the equipments used for pallets. Now we'll move towards the carton storage part. Where the first one is the continuous flow racks. Generally used for keeping cartons, where cartons are basically put away from the higher side, and with the help of gravity they'll flow on the other side. So similar to continuous flow rack and pallet, we'll need to have higher carton to SKU ratio. Height is generally limited by a person's reach. So let's assume it as 1.8 meter. Typical use cases are in forward pick area, And what else? The next one in the carton storage is multi-tier shelving. So these are simple shelves as you can see in the image, but there will be multiple tiers. So in this image you can see tier 1, tier 2. It can typically it can go around 4 to 6 tiers depending on the height of the warehouse. One tier or one level has storage capacity of around 1.8 meter, and clear height can go up to 2.5 meters due to requirement for lighting and all. Can be and is used in typically e-commerce where number of SKU is very high. Carton stored or cartons or tote stored is also very high. You can either do each picking or case picking from this particular location, as the image is showing. Person can walk on every level. He can drag the trolleys or basically any cart to pick the eaches or cartons as required. So this is the manual but the dense kind of situation and storage for carton storage. So these were all the manual storage modes. In next video, we'll discuss about the automated storage modes. So which will move us towards the goods to person kind of scenario. And if that is the goods to person scenario, then all the manual storage racks we can call it as person to good kind of scenarios. So that's it in this video. Thank you so much.